Okay, Vili, you harped on a little bit about the produce that goes obviously into your pies
Correct.
and pasties and sausage rolls and cakes. There's a whole array of products you produce.
Yes.
Where we talk about being sustainable province where we want to look after the areas around us if we can get those products. Is that the same philosophy for what goes into your products?
Yeah, I'm pedantic about using local. I'm pedantic about having long-term relationships with those people, contracts to grow it, and so on. And to give you some idea, trombone for my pasties, we use a marrow called trombone. It's not easy to find. We almost control the seed on it. And one year, the Murray River grower in Cobdobla crop went a bit astray. So we had to go up to Tea Tree. My wife and I drove up to Tea Tree outside of Alice Springs and walked into this little Turkish farm. He had about 60 acres. I said to him, I pulled up in a S500 Mercedes, got out with plastic bags of seed. I said, "I want you to grow a crop for me." He said, "Well, I don't grow marijuana here, mate." Okay, and I said to him, no, trombone, a marrow. How does it grow? I explained to him how to make it, right? And I said, "I want 20 acres. I'll take whatever you grow on 20 acres. You got artesian water. You can grow before Christmas because you can plant 2 months earlier because of the weather up there's no frost."
Yep.
And so on. And he rang me up one day and he said to me, "Vili, I'm scared to go out of my house. The vines are surrounding my house." And of course there's snakes in, because it's sheltered, there's a lot of snakes in there. And the crop was, fruit was going to about 3-4 inches and dropping off. And needed some help. So I went back to Cobdobla and I said to the guy, "What's the problem?" And he said, "Why should I tell you? Because next year you won't be supplying me otherwise." And so he told us too much water, the nitrogen in the water. So farming is not just you put stuff in the ground.
Yeah,
there are lots of things that you got to learn.
Yeah.
And so on. We buy a lot of produce from TNR, Tees Brothers. That's the meat content. Yep. But with the meat situation at the moment, going through the roof, and so on, you got to look at the fact that some people can't supply what you want. The drought has given us a bit of lesson in life. When the flour goes up $300 a ton, or so on, you know what you're talking about, So, but nevertheless, we bring in a lot of people into my industry, and that's why I've been sort of saying that I will help anybody. Matter of fact, to give you an idea, you remember the Garibaldi affair?
Yes.
And everybody in small business is going bad. I went to see John Muntelik, and I said to him, he was crying on the ABC. He's 45 years and nothing wrong, and he didn't want to make Kranskis. So the Kransky, the Vili dog.
Here.
Thanks.
This is like, cheers.
Cheers.
I don't know what I'm drinking here, but I'm sure
it should be good.
Oh, that's nice. It's sweet.
Oh, it's sugar, honey.
Oh.
Reminds me of my wife.
So talking about, so you mentioned about the product, and you've gone to the extremes of driving. That's literally a 12-hour drive to Alice Springs to ask someone to grow something specifically for what you need to put in your pasties at the time.
It's very difficult if you can't get the ingredients.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure, you've got to cover yourself for 12 months.
Yeah, and it has to have the right weather, and at the moment we've had fires, we've had droughts, and we've had too much rain. So it's really tough as a farmer to be able to grow in this situation. And we always want to grow local, and I think we go more than out of our way to making sure we're supporting the local environment. And when I say local, I mean local as in my suburb, local as in my state, local as in Australia.
Correct, yeah.
In that sort of flow. And I see that that's exactly what you do. And it's not about how many people you employ. It's these people have been kept in business. Yes. And it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for someone with the foresight like you are doing to be able to really push the boundaries.
It's a long-term relationship that you build, because sometimes people come in and say, I'll give you a price, you can't refuse. But can you give me the service?
Yeah.
Service and the reliability is as good as money. Okay,
Yeah.
so you got to have that niche in the market where you understand, combine the two to understand about business. That sometimes the cheapest is not the best, sometimes the dearest is not the best either, and so on. So a happy medium is what we're looking for in my industry, and we've got so many different ingredients going into the product. And one of the things that we don't grow in Australia is pepper. Okay. And I went to Malaysia to understand how pepper grows. And it was a cultural trip and so on, and it was interesting. It doesn't like it to get its feet wet. It's on the side of a hill. And it looked like bunches of grapes, but not so many grapes on it. And I said, so this is pepper. So when I made a green peppercorn pie.
Yep.
Green peppercorn.
Have I got one here? Mel?
Yeah.
Have I got a green?
Get the one that
Green peppercorn pie.
Yep.
It's not. Green peppercorn is aromatic. Red is getting hotter, and when they totally dehydrate it, then it becomes black, and that's when you got your strength. Okay.
You can taste it.
Oh yeah, it's aromatic.
Yeah.
And it's not meant to be really, really hot. And Australians, initially when I started making pies, they were adults only. They were burn my lips as I was eating them, right? And so on. So we had to change our culture a little different. Older Aussies said, how can you eat it? Now the younger brigade, who's been interested in Thai, Chinese, and stuff like that, they understand spices, right? And so that is the difference. And so I had a woman come in the cafe, and she asked for 2 chili dogs and 1 cheese dog. And I said, Madam, how old are your children? 6 and 8. And I said, do you know how hot they are? Oh yeah, they love it. Cultural differences again. It's changing, isn't it? Today people look for spices, look for chili, and so on. I was a forerunner.
So you can you grow pepper here?
I believe in Queensland you could.
Yeah. So
I might even look at investment one day if I have enough time left in my life.
to go have a look and try and find some pepper somewhere where you can actually grow it for.
Yeah, I think Queensland could grow it. The tropics grow it.
Yeah.
So Queensland could grow it, but it's like everything else. I look upon the fact that water is a big thing for everybody. And there's so much water in Queensland. They have a metre of rain sometimes, or 3 metres of rain in certain areas. Yep. It channels out to the ocean, or whoever knows where, Artesian Basin, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so on. But we seem to be limited by water.